and purpose, the world cannot stay silent. India is no longer just a market, it is a movement, a force that compels even the most arrogant to bow, even the most dismissive to negotiate, even the most hostile to rethink their stance. Turkey mocked India, opposed India, backed those who sought to hurt India. They made diplomatic decisions not out of wisdom, but arrogance. They forgot who they were dealing with. They misjudged the fire that burns within every Indian, the fire of memory, of identity, of pride. And now, as their economy crashes and their tourism sector gasps for air, they turn back, not with apologies, not with honesty, but with desperation. Now they beg for Indian tourists. They plead. A nation like Turkey, loud and proud, starts whispering to India for help. It's not just a diplomatic shift, it's proof of India's growing dominion over the world's decision-making levers. This is why collective economic influence is no small thing. It does what weapons can't. It hits where it hurts the most: wallets, industries, and reputations. India doesn't need to fire a bullet or shout into microphones. It just needs to decide where not to go, where not to buy, and who not to empower. That decision, multiplied by millions, brings powerful nations to their knees. And now we are watching it happen in real time. When India says no, countries lose billions. When Indians don't show up, global markets tremble. That is the reality today. And this is just the beginning. But the real question is, do we, as Indians, understand the power we hold? Because power unused is power lost. Every time we forgive too quickly, spin without thinking, or travel without awareness, we give away leverage that was earned through decades of growth, sacrifice, and struggle. Turkey does not deserve your rupees, not after what they've done, not after what they stood for. This is not about spreading hatred. This is about enforcing consequence. Respect is earned by choices, not just apologies. And Turkey has made its choices very clear, so must we. You see, they never respected us when we were silent. But now, when we're speaking through our economic choices, they are forced to listen. That's the lesson. That's the moment. That's the new India, one that does not plead for approval, but commands respect through action. We don't need validation anymore. We are the validation. Our presence is profit. Our absence is punishment. So what will you do with this power? Will you spend it carelessly, or will you invest it with clarity? Will you reward those who stood with you, or uplift those who insulted your country when it suited them? These are no longer casual questions. These are choices that define not just our future, but how the world treats us from this day forward. It's time Indians stop thinking like victims and start acting like victors. Every rupee is a roar. Every boycott is a battle won without a war. Every refusal to support those who once humiliated us is a declaration of self-worth. We don't need to burn flags or shout slogans. We just need to stop paying the enemies of our national dignity. Turkey is learning this lesson now, but they're not the last. Many others are watching. Many others are realizing that India is not just an option, it's a necessity. And if they insult us, they will pay the price. If they undermine us, they will feel the impact. If they challenge us, they must be ready to face the silence of 1.4 billion powerful people who know exactly what their money is worth. Let this be a warning, not just to Turkey, but to every country that tries to play games with India's pride. The era of ignoring India is over. The age of disrespecting India without consequence is dead. And anyone who still thinks otherwise will feel it not in speeches, but in spreadsheets, not in debates, but in declining revenues, not in politics, but in pocketbooks. There is no greater power than a nation united in purpose. And our purpose now is clear. We support those who support us. We uplift those who respect us. And we turn our backs on those who tried to use us and discard us when it was convenient. Because the power of collective economic influence is not about hate. It's about honor. It's not about revenge. It's about respect. It's not emotional. It's strategic. Every time we act with that awareness, we don't just shift the economy. We shift the global balance of power. Turkey's economic desperation is not a rumor. It's a reality. When a nation that once stood tall begins to bend in silence, when pride is replaced with pleading, and when arrogance turns into appeasement, you know something has broken. And that something is the illusion of power. For years, Turkey positioned itself as a rising voice in the Islamic world, often using India as a rhetorical punching bag to elevate its own status. But today, the very country that insulted India now silently reaches out to the same people it once disrespected. Not out of diplomacy, but out of economic survival. The numbers don't lie. Turkey's inflation is soaring. Its currency is crumbling. Its tourism industry, once a glittering jewel in its crown, is bleeding. And who was one of the largest contributors to that tourism boom? Indians? Yes, Indian travelers who poured their hard-earned money into Turkish markets, hotels, restaurants, and experiences